If you follow along with this video, you'll be able to create a website like this. Of course, this is just an example. It's built upon an idea of a website about gardening and gardening services. But this is just to show you that you can create a nice website with a responsive design, which is perfect also on mobile. And you know that today, most of online traffic is from smartphones. Let's begin. What does it take to create a website? So the first thing to do is to choose the name of your website, which is called the domain name. There are two big issues regarding the domain. The first is choosing the name itself, because it is better to choose a name that is short and memorable. It should sound good, or at least okay. The second issue is the availability, because if someone else already bought the domain name, it's theirs and you have to choose another name. You also need the physical space where the website is stored, and this is called the hosting. Note that once upon a time, not so many years ago, people used to host their websites on their computers, which needed to be always online in order for their website to be accessible to other users. But now this time is gone, and websites are hosted on servers, which are specialized big computers. And number three, you need the actual website itself. Now websites are created with software like WordPress.org, which is free technically, is an open source software. WordPress.org is the software that runs almost 43% of all today's world websites. Now you can have all of these three components separate, the hosting, the domain name, and the software running the site, or a convenient solution is to have all of them in a bundle, and many companies offer that. So I use a hosting service which is called WordPress.com, which is a great fully integrated solution. It's very good for beginners and also very good to run a website without worrying too much about technical issues. WordPress.com offers a fully managed WordPress hosting, which means that they take care of all the technical aspects like backups and updates, so it's very convenient. WordPress.com uses the same WordPress.org software. The naming can be confusing, but it's worth keeping in mind the difference. WordPress.com is a hosting company which was founded by a co-founder of WordPress.org. And since they use the same underlying software, which is WordPress.org, this guide is universal, independent of any hosting company you choose. Provided you decide to build your website with a version of WordPress.org, this tutorial will apply correctly. So after you've chosen your domain and a hosting plan according to your needs, usually a site builder lets you set a WordPress theme. A WordPress theme can be described with a metaphor. It is a kind of a dress for your website. It commands the overall appearance. Now there are tons of themes, some free, some paid, and you can even create your own. Here in this video I will show you how easy it is to customize an existing free theme and give it the appearance you desire to your website. WordPress.org releases every year the default yearly theme, which is free. Here is the theme of the year named 2025. We will use that, and now once you have installed the theme, it will have the standard appearance. As you can see, there are some signpost content already made, just to see the overall appearance of a website. All we have to do now is to customize the structure and add your own content. We will familiarize ourselves with the WordPress dashboard first. This is the WordPress dashboard, which comes to all WordPress sites. Here you have all the controls for your website. You have many tabs on the left, for example, to view stats and also to create and access content like posts, pages, and to modify the overall appearance. In particular, under the tab named Appearance and Themes, as you can see, you have all the library of themes from free to paid ones. We have already the default 2025 theme active, but of course you can choose any theme you want. Okay, the default theme has this appearance, but note that under the tab Appearance and then Editor, you can access the editor to modify the appearance of your website. Note here in the editor the tab with the label Templates. This will be fundamental in changing the appearance of your website. The default blog home template is the template which is applied by default to your website. If you go to Settings and Reading, note that your homepage display is set with the option to display your latest posts. And this is the signal that the template used in the homepage of your website is the blog home template. And if you want to change the appearance of your website homepage, this is the template that you will have to modify. If you click on Edit Site, then Templates and Blog Home, you access the editor for this specific template, Blog Home. And as you can see in the upper menu bar, there is the name Blog Home template. Now, editing a template means changing the underlying structure, not the content itself. The block editor, which is the way you make changes in a WordPress site, is very easy to use. At the center you have the structure. On the right, a tab for the settings, and each part of the content is called a block. You can access a list view on your left, which is a very convenient way to show each individual block, each individual part of the structure of your website. This is very convenient because it's not always straightforward to select with your mouse the block you want to modify, but in the list view you can easily select the block you want. Notice that WordPress, and in this case WordPress.com, offers a very good integration with AI tools. I find it useful for generating images on the spot. Now, before we continue, it's very important that you understand a few simple concepts that will greatly make your life easy with WordPress. I'm talking about the difference between templates, pages and posts. A template, as I already mentioned, is the underlying structure. It commands the appearance of your website. It's in the template that you will make the changes that really customize the site as you want. On the other hand, pages and posts are the places where the content will go. Pages are sometimes defined as static or fixed parts, and posts, as implied by the meaning of the name itself, are articles, a feed of content, news, etc. Just to give a broad example, take a magazine, a paper magazine. I'd like to draw a comparison from a magazine to a website. A magazine, like a website, also has pages, and in those pages there are arranged the articles, which is the equivalent of blog posts. Overall, pages and posts have their own structure, and this structure is the equivalent of the template. And it is this underlying structure that makes the magazine unique. So you have the template, and above you have posts and pages. You can create as many templates as you want for pages and posts with WordPress, and the content usually goes in pages and posts. While on templates, you should put only fixed content that you want to appear on every page or every post, commanded by that specific underlying template. For example, if you want to insert a banner such as an advertisement on every post you write, you should put it into the template, so that when you write a post, you will write a new post with the new content, but you already find the banner because it is in the underlying template for the posts. Okay, now it's time to modify the blog home template. As you can see, we are in the template editor, where the changes on your website take part. We can insert the image generated with the AI, and just to give a nice look to your homepage, we will transform this image with the attribute of cover image. Select Fixed Background. This lets us give the opportunity to use this nice scroll effect. Just make sure to enable the full width of the image used for the cover. And in this way, as you can see, you can create this nice effect with just one image. On a cover block, you can insert some text, which is very good for an introduction to your website. WordPress is amazing because it is by default ready for mobile. It is responsive. Those themes are so-called responsive themes. So you can select the preview for mobile, and you can see a preview of how it looks on a smartphone. Now see on the list view that you have some section on this template: header, content and footer. Every page should have a header, some content and a footer. The content here, as you can see, offers the view of the latest posts in this template. You can of course put anything you want on the page, and if you decide to change the appearance of the post, for example in this block, it's easy to change the design. Let's choose a convenient grid with the latest post. Later on, we will of course write our own content, but this is just to see how easy it is to customize a template. Okay, now it's time to modify the header, which is a specific template part. See, usually a header has the title of the website, maybe the logo, and the menu, which is called navigation in WordPress. We will change the font and appearance, and we will make a logo using conveniently some free AI tools. In this case, I'm using Bing Image Creator. Overall, the appearance now begins to be quite nice. Now it's time to write our own very post. First, we will delete all the signpost content which came with the default theme, and we will add the first post. Click on Add a Post and you will enter the editor for the post. Note that we are now creating content, we aren't editing a template. The editor looks the same, but on top in the bar you can see that we are in the post editor. For the website we are creating, which is a gardening website, we will write a post about how to prune fruit trees. Here again I'm using the advantage of the AI image creation tools. And this is the finished post, which is categorized under the techniques category that I decided for it. Okay, now it's time to add or customize the page. In this case the About page, which came already made with the theme. It needs of course to be personalized. We can do this simply by editing the page in the page editor. Here again we are modifying the content itself, not the underlying structure of the page. And each website should also have a contact page, so we will conveniently add a new page. See how easy it is to add content by adding or modifying blocks and modifying the settings to give it the appearance that you want. Notice also how the new page has already been added to the navigation menu on top of the website. Here is the website with a few new contents that we added. Under the Post tab in the dashboard, see that there is the Categories setting, where you can add categories for each post and modify existing ones. We will add now a new category. So when we write another post, we can choose a category that best suits it. This will come in handy when we want to arrange the content on our website. I will show this in a minute. In fact, I have populated the blog with more posts. I'm going to divide and display the posts according to their category. For doing so, I'm going to edit the blog home template. Notice that there is a specific block that governs how posts show up and is called the query loop. On the right, in the settings of the query loop, you can specify which posts should appear. And all you have to do is to specify the proper taxonomies. In other words, they are categories or other kinds of labels that identify the posts. For example, if you want that a query loop block shows only the posts with the news category, just select it. See that now I duplicate the block with the query loop and I select now a different category to show only the posts labeled with the technique category, which will appear in another section on the website just under the previous ones. You can also conveniently add patterns and other parts that are already made and you just have to customize as you prefer. For example, here I'm adding a box to encourage visitors to subscribe to my website. And here it is, the almost finished website. As you can see, it has a nice clean look on a desktop and also on mobile. There is really no limit to what you can create with WordPress, and as you can see, you don't need to code at all. You can even add an e-shop integrated in your website. There are options for monetization, buttons for receiving payments, and everything is beautifully integrated in this wonderful WordPress.com managed hosting. Again, as I said, this guide is related to any website built with the WordPress.org software. But if you'd like to choose WordPress.com hosting and its fully integrated managed hosting, check the link in the description and start building your beautiful website in a matter of a few clicks. I think creating a website is an amazing opportunity to show off your passion and your personality to the world. I hope that my video inspired you to create something unique and yours. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments anything you want to know about website creation. Also subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, see you soon.